Yo, what's up guys? Coach Jonathan here. I help busy adults just like yourself lose weight and keep it off forever using our fast track fitness and nutrition system. And today I wanted to come at you with a video on calorie calculations. So this is something that you've probably asked about before. I get questions all the time about this, and it's a really important topic in the weight loss world. And that's when it comes to calorie calculations, because you need to be eating according to your goals or you're not going to see results. So I've said this in other videos, but if you are someone who works out 5 days a week for an hour plus and you are not eating accordingly, you will never see results. Nutrition is the key. I would go as far as to say it's 90% of the equation when it comes to weight loss. So it's really important to get this topic down. And if there's any videos out there that you watch of mine, this is going to be the most important one and the one that will get you the quickest and most efficient results. So getting into it real quick with the goal of this video, I just wanted to outline things. I want to have you learn how to establish your TDEE and learn exactly what that is, because that's a really big thing. You've maybe heard that term before, but you don't know what it is. So we're going to cover that. And then I also want, at the end of this video, I want you to be able to calculate and know a starting point so you can get going ASAP. Because when it comes to fitness, there's never going to be a perfect time. You're always going to have work meetings, you're always going to be traveling, you're always going to have family events, so you might as well start ASAP, okay? So I want to give you the equations to do so, know exactly how to start, and then get started as soon as you possibly can. And with that being said, if you are someone who is on a weight loss journey right now and you are really struggling, you're day in and day out, you think you're eating according to your goals, you're going to the gym and not seeing much progress, things are just going slow, or you haven't started at all and you are just super busy, you're in finance, you're in law, you're a high up executive in your business, and you do not know how to fit fitness into your busy lifestyle because you have meetings all the time, you're traveling. It's a challenging thing to do. If you're someone who's struggling, what I want you to do is click below, subscribe to this channel, check out the rest of my videos. Also give me a follow on Instagram, where I'm always providing tips on weight loss and how to get to your goals in a sustainable way while navigating your busy schedule. So subscribe below, follow me on Instagram, and let me know if you have any questions from there. So getting straight into things, what is TDEE? So you might have heard this before on Instagram, here on YouTube. You've heard me reference to it a few times already in this video. And TDEE is simply total daily energy expenditure, which an even simpler way of looking at that is how many calories you are burning in a day. Okay, so you burn calories all throughout the day. Calories are kind of like your body's energy currency, and TDEE is just how much you burn while exercising, while just living standard life, because you're burning calories while you're breathing, you're sleeping, you're doing all the normal things. How many calories you even burn during food, eating food, that goes into it. So here is the big pie chart kind of overlying all that. So BMR makes up 70% of that, and that's just the calories that you're burning while you are living, sleeping, breathing, walking around, all that good stuff. Or actually not even walking around, that kind of falls into the physical activity range. But 70% of your TDEE is made up of just those daily calories that you're burning just being you. Then going off of there, physical activity. So when you're working out, you're getting your steps in, you're running, whatever it may be, that makes up 20% of the equation. And then 10% is made up of your thermic effective food. So that's how many calories your body burns while eating food. Maybe you didn't know that before, but your body is burning calories because it takes energy to break down food that you digest. So thermic effective food plays a minor role, and that is 10% of that equation. Before we get further into things, I always like to point out, notice how physical activity only makes up 20% of that equation. So that's why I always say you can't outtrain, or you have to eat according to your goals. You can't outtrain a bad diet, kind of thing. If you are working out all the time and you're not eating according to your goals, you're missing a big part of this equation. Like I said, working out only makes up 20%. So you're going to be struggling to see results at that point. So hopefully that explains kind of what TDEE is. It just is how many calories you're burning on a day-to-day basis with all the different factors involved. So getting into that, the good stuff, how do you calculate your TDEE? So there is an equation out there. It's called the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, MSJ for short. And you can look this up online. So here is the full equation. It's different for males and females, just slightly at the end. And what you can do is, instead of plugging this in, if you're a very mathy person, you like to do it all by hand, you can by all means do this. But go online, look up MSJ calculator, plug in your stats, and it will come out with your TDEE. The biggest thing to go from there is you're going to want to multiply that number by your activity level. So obviously, If you are sitting and you're working a desk job, you're going to be burning less calories in a day than someone who is working construction and on their feet all day. So with that, you want to go into the calculator, get this number for the MSJ equation, and then you're going to multiply that by your activity factor. You want to get as close as possible. Be honest with yourself. If you're sitting all day, you are definitely not going to be a moderately active person. And on the flip side, if you are working in construction, you're definitely not lightly active. Get as close as you can, because it does make a difference. And there are also calculators out there that can help you determine what your activity level is. A lot of the websites with these calculators will also have like a little bit of key with it on how often you're working out, how many steps a day you're getting in, all that good stuff. So that's how you find how many calories make up your TDEE. So that is the most important part. But when you get there, you need to do something with that, all right? So you need to put yourself in a deficit. If you're on my channel, it's likely that you are trying to lose weight, and a deficit is essential. And I know you probably have heard this term a lot of times before with a deficit, but what exactly is that? So getting into that is simply just consuming less calories in a day than what your body's burning. So if your TDEE is calculated to be 2,800 calories, so that's how many calories you burn while working out, while living, while eating, all that good stuff. You want to put yourself in a deficit. So anything under that, so 2,300 calories, that would put you in a deficit if your TDEE is 2,800. 2,700 would technically put you in a deficit. Not a big deficit, but it would put you in one. And then on the flip side, a surplus is when you're eating more calories than that TDEE. So if you're eating 3,200 calories and your calculated number is 2,800, you're going to be in a surplus, meaning you're going to be gaining weight. And then one last thing, I don't have it on the screen, but if you are eating exactly what that calculated TDEE is, you will be not gaining weight, you won't be losing weight, you'll be kind of floating in the same exact area. So it's kind of the breakdown, but you want to be in a deficit if you are going for weight loss. But the big thing is, how much of a deficit should you put yourself in? Because sometimes people want to lose weight really quick, and there's a downside to that. So if you want to lose weight aggressively, you're going to want to, and I'll get into this in the next section, you're going to want to go on the higher end, put yourself in a larger deficit. And then if you want to lose weight in a more sustainable fashion, which I highly recommend, you're going to want to ease your way down so you're not dropping from 2,800 being your TDEE and then you're suddenly eating 1,300, because there's not much wiggle room right there. So 1,300 would be a very, very aggressive deficit versus if you just drop a few hundred calories and then you have wiggle room from there. The thing to keep in mind is quick weight loss usually leads to a higher likelihood of losing muscle while you're losing weight, which doing that, you might not notice the effects in the short term, except for you're going to get weaker in the gym. But when you lose muscle while you're losing weight really quick, your metabolism is going to absolutely tank. So then when you lose that weight, it's going to be a lot harder to keep it off long term. So something to consider. But going off what I just said, how to put yourself into an appropriate deficit. So the calculation that is out there is that there is 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So with that being said, what you want to do is do 3,500 divided by 7. That means 500 calories a day would be your deficit. So the 7 number comes from days in a week. There's 7 days in a week. So you do those numbers and you get 500 calories a day. So hypothetically, what that means is if you eat 500 calories under your total daily energy expenditure number, you will lose 1 pound per week. All right. For some of you, 1 pound a week may be a very lightly like a very conservative number. For some of you, that could be very aggressive. It varies person to person. All right. But what you want to consider is what the appropriate rate of weight loss would be. So I always recommend, and I always set it up this way for my clients, we go about calculating calories in a slightly different way because we want to monitor exactly where they're at starting wise, and I'll get into why it's not like the perfect thing with these calculations, but 0.8 to 1.2% of your body weight per week is an appropriate rate of weight loss. So what you can do is you can multiply your current body weight by 0.8%, and then you want to find what that number is, and then what you'll do from there is you'll figure out how many calories. So if say it's 2 pounds a week is your appropriate rate of weight loss. So you want to do, instead of 3,500, you want to do 7,000. Divide that by 7, it'll be 1,000 calories, and you want to put yourself in a 1,000 calorie deficit per day budget. Okay, so you want to look at that as like the maximum calories you want to hit, and that will kind of be an estimate on your rate of weight loss. The same goes for if you do it by 0.1 or 1.2. That's a little bit more aggressive. You may lose strength a little bit faster, but you will also lose weight faster. The same exact thing goes for that. You'll just want to always take into consideration 3,500 calories makes up 1 pound of fat. That's not a perfect number, but going off of that, the things to remember when it comes to calculations is calculations are not perfect. So every single person is a little bit different. Calculations will just get you in the general ballpark, but the most accurate way to know if you are actually in a deficit or not is to keep a close tabs on the scale. You want to also take into consideration all the other things, such as sleep, stress, workouts, all that stuff. You want to take all that into consideration, and that's where having a coach comes in very handy. But if you keep in consideration all that and you are tracking your food accurately, you know exactly what's coming in, what's going out, you will then be able to monitor if you're losing weight or not on weekly averages. And if you are not losing weight long term, that means you're simply not in a deficit. Something needs to be tweaked from there. And what needs to be tweaked, that's very person to person, so it's hard to go into that. And there's also other things to consider with going into a deficit, such as hunger, food quality, and just other little considerations person to person. So that's why I can't speak on your specific situation from this video, but you have to just keep that in mind. While calculations are a very good starting point, if you calculate that you need to eat 2,300 calories a day once you take into consideration your TDE and a deficit, if you calculate 2,300 and you eat that way for 2 weeks and you have seen absolutely no weight loss, that likely means that you need to go a little bit lower in your deficit, or there's something wrong with the calculation. So, I guess both of those would go hand in hand. So keep that into consideration. And one last thing, as I close out this video, if you are someone who this is just way over your head, you don't know how to apply these concepts to your specific weight loss journey, what I want you to do is go below, follow me on Instagram, or click the link to apply for our program. If you follow me on Instagram, just DM me ready, and I will get back to you so we can get on a call, go over how our program would help you specifically, because we work with tons of busy adults just like yourself on a day-to-day basis, and we really do get a high rate of results while all of these people are still eating the foods that they love and not spending hours in the gym each week. If you've watched all my other videos, most of our clients only spend about 3 hours a week in the gym, and that's because a lot of them are traveling frequently. Like Anthony in this picture right here, he works in sales, he's traveling all the time, he does not have time to spend all of his free time in the gym, and he also really loves food, and he's still seeing results, as you can see right here. And another really good example is Tori down here. Tori has worked with so many trainers in the past, not gotten results because it's just not flexible with her lifestyle. She works high up in management at her company, and she has had trainers who just have not clicked with her, but our program is very, very personalized and tailored to each person's lifestyle and career. And as you can see, she has had incredible results while working with us. So if this sounds like something that could apply to you, you're super busy, you don't know how to apply these concepts to your specific weight loss journey, what I want you to do is, again, just follow me on Instagram and DM me ready, and we will get in contact, set up a call, and kind of talk over exactly how we can help. And the worst thing that comes out of it is we'll get you some free resources to get you going on your journey, if we find that this is not a perfect fit for both us and for you. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comment below this video. Let me know what your questions are. I'll get back to you. But yeah, hopefully this gave you a really good guidance on how to calculate your calories and make sure you're in a deficit so you can start eating according to your goals ASAP.